Ducks were quietly pushed out of most backyard flocks decades ago, and it has nothing to do with how well they perform. One breed alone, the khaki Campbell, lays 320 eggs a year. That is not a rare bird having a lucky year. That is the normal number for this breed, and it beats most chickens you can buy at a feed store today. Here is what you need to know right now. This only takes about 15 minutes a day once you get set up. You do not need years of farm experience. We pulled these numbers from real duck owners, not guesses. And you can start this in a normal backyard. You do not need 40 acres. And there are 2 ways to make money with ducks, so stay until the end to make sure you see the numbers with both. So if this bird works this well, why does almost nobody raise them? Before we answer that, let's look at what most people do instead, and what it costs them. Most new backyard egg farmers start with chickens, not because chickens are better, because chickens are the only bird the feed store ever puts in front of them. Those chicken breeds lay a lot of eggs for about 18 months. Then their egg output drops. By the time you add up feed, supplements, and the odd vet visit, a small flock of chickens can cost $800 to $1,200 a year. And that is for a bird that is already slowing down. This is the trap. It is not that chickens are bad. It is that nobody ever shows you the bird sitting right next to them that works even better. Here is the real reason ducks disappeared. And it is not some wild secret. It comes down to rules, not conspiracy. Back in the 1970s, health officials in the UK pulled duck eggs off store shelves. They were worried about how the eggs were being handled and cleaned at large farms. Around the same time, the American egg industry was building its whole grading system around chicken eggs. Chicken egg sizes, chicken egg cartons, chicken egg rules. Duck eggs never got added to that system. It was not because duck eggs were unsafe when handled the right way. It is because fixing the system to include a second bird was never worth the trouble to an industry that had already built everything around chickens. Once duck eggs fell out of that supply chain, stores stopped carrying them. A whole generation grew up never seeing a duck egg, and the knowledge of how good this bird really is disappeared right along with it. Now let's talk real numbers. A small flock of 6 khaki Campbell ducks costs $150 to $300 to set up. That covers the birds, a simple shelter, some fencing, and clean water. Feed runs about $15 to $25 a month for each bird. 6 healthy ducks can lay close to 30 eggs a week combined. Duck eggs sell for $6 to $9 a dozen at farmers markets. Local bakers often pay even more because duck eggs have more fat, which makes richer bread and cake. Once your flock is set up and feed costs are paid, you can realistically profit $150 to $300 a month. This is not money that shows up while you sleep. This is real income for real daily work, and almost anyone with a backyard can start it. The big profit. If numbers like these are new to you, this is exactly the kind of math we break down every week. Hit subscribe now so you don't miss the next one. And stick around, because the profit on ducks doesn't stop at eggs. There's a second income stream hiding in what they leave behind, and we'll get to it in a minute. But first, here's where most new duck owners lose money before they ever make it. Because when people first try raising ducks, they usually run into the same 3 mistakes. Mistake number 1: water and drainage. The first mistake is water. Ducks need clean water all the time to stay healthy. New owners often do not plan for how messy the water can become. Get the drainage wrong, and you end up with a muddy mess instead of a clean yard. Ducks dunk their whole head in the water to clean their nostrils, and they do this dozens of times a day. That water gets dirty fast, and it spills every time they climb in and out. If that spot does not drain well, you get a pit of mud within a week, not a month. The fix is simple though. Put the water station on a slope, or build a small gravel bed under it so the water has somewhere to go. Do this before you bring a single duck home, not after you already have a mud problem. Mistake number 2: buying from the wrong breeder. The second mistake is where you buy your birds. This is the same problem people run into with heritage chicken breeds. If you buy from a hatchery that breeds for looks instead of egg production, You get a bird that looks like a khaki Campbell but does not lay like one. Always ask a breeder how many eggs their birds actually lay each year before you buy. Two ducks can look identical and still be worlds apart in what they produce. Some hatcheries breed strictly for egg output. Others breed for color, size, or show quality, and egg numbers just are not part of that decision. A show-quality khaki Campbell might lay half of what a production line bird lays, and you would not know the difference just by looking at it. Ask for real numbers, not a guess. A serious breeder will know their average without hesitating. Mistake number 3. Predators. The third mistake is predators. Ducks are tough birds, but they are still easy targets at night. You need a secure place to lock them up. Raccoons and hawks do not care that your duck rarely gets sick. A duck's biggest weakness is that it cannot see well in the dark, and it cannot fly off fast the way a chicken can. That makes nighttime the most dangerous part of the day. A wire fence alone will not stop a raccoon, since they can reach through gaps and pull a duck toward the fence line. What actually works is a fully enclosed coop with a hard latch, closed and checked every single night. Skip this step even once, and you can lose your whole flock in an hour. One last thing to check before you spend $1 before you buy a single duck. Check your local rules. Cities often treat ducks differently than chickens. Some places that ban chickens still allow ducks. Some places allow chickens but say no to ducks because of water and noise. Spend 5 minutes on your city's website. It can save you from building something you may not be allowed to keep. Now here's the second income stream we mentioned earlier. Duck droppings make strong, well-balanced fertilizer. And unlike chicken droppings, duck waste does not need nearly as long to break down before it is safe for garden beds. If you already grow anything, that waste becomes free plant food instead of a mess to deal with. Or, bagged composted manure often brings in $5 to $15 for a 20 to 40 pound bag at farmers markets or online. That is the real difference between an animal that costs you money and a system where every part pays for another part. This is the shift we talk about on this channel all the time, moving from someone who buys everything to someone who builds something. Most people look at their backyard as space that costs them money. Mowing, upkeep, nothing coming back. A small duck setup flips that completely. This is not about replacing your job overnight. This is about turning unused space into $150 to $300 a month. Using a bird, the industry simply stopped talking about. The old idea says you need 40 acres and a lifetime of farm experience to make real money from animals. That was never true. It was just never good business for anyone to tell you otherwise. A small duck flock can pay you $150 to $300 a month once you're past the early mistakes. And now you know why almost nobody talks about it. But knowing the numbers isn't the same as knowing how to actually start without losing money in week 1. One of the 2 videos in front of you covers another piece of this, and closing the window now is how people end up learning lessons the hard way.